Tamil Nadu and Puducherry states in financing power sector infrastructure project. And she came in contact with the ultimate self-realization course in the year 2006. And this course actually is taught by His Grace Sriman Sankarsan Das Adhikari Guru Maharaj. And he learned Krishna consciousness from her spiritual master and Srimati Guru Mataji and also other devotees. And after that, she took initiation from her spiritual master, His Grace Sriman Sankarsan Das Adhikari Guru Maharaj. And she's also assisting her spiritual master in the compilation of the books of His Grace Sriman Sankarsan Das Adhikari Prabhuji. His books are like Know Who You Are, Perfection of Life, Stop Worrying, Start Living, Pursuit of Excellence in Krishna Consciousness, and Uttama Bhakti, Nectar Droplet, Tune In, Turn On, and Bliss Out, Conquer Your Mind. And Mataji gets lots of inspiration from the teachings of Prabhupada, and she also helped the new devotee who want to take initiation. So we are today very much fortunate. So without further delay, I would like to invite His Grace Guru Bandana Mataji to start today's session. Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now I think I can see it in the, okay, I'll just disconnect from here then. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Gurudev and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Mataji. So, thank you for introducing me, though I am just unworthy of all these things. But I'm still sitting in my office only, but I thought I should never miss this opportunity. Sorry. So, just a brief Jayarada Madhava will sing. Then we will start reading the 4th chapter of this book. Chant and be happy. Is my voice audible?
Yes, Mataji, you are
Okay,
audible.
there is no echo, na? There is no echo, isn't it?
No.
It's clearly audible, na? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear it.
Okay. So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radhari Shodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Krishna Savadari Namo Prabhupada Namo Tirthapathana Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitam. Okay, we are in chapter 4. I'm not giving as a lecture this one. We'll be reading this book. If you all have the book with you, kindly open the book. As we read, then and there, I will try to share whatever I have gathered from here and there, whatever knowledge I've gathered from here and there, so that it will be sort of reading the book, which will actually, this is why I follow this style, is that generally I purchase so many books and stack it in my almirah, but never I get like find time to read. But when we have a group reading like this, when I read it, so I'm also able to understand what is read there, or when I hear it from when someone reads, it is also highly beneficial to me. So I thought I will do that sort of reading today. So a brief introduction about what we are going to read in this chapter. So this chapter's title is Chanting for Higher Consciousness, a Cultural History. So when we hear the word chanting, generally what happens, they often think something is very unusual or something foreign. Perhaps these Hare Krishna devotees, they are singing and dancing on crowded streets. My own experience is that when I visited one of my Sri Vaishnavite friend a few days before, when I was speaking about japa to them, they felt it is something foreign. They said, "Oh, ISKCON, you are all following Christianity, or you are following Americans." Though it is clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 25, Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Of sacrifices, I'm chanting the holy names, Japa. Some people just see it as a religion, some as music, some as public display. But only very few, they ask a very simple and important question. Why do people across different cultures, religions, and time periods keep chanting? Why do we find chant in ancient India, early Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, and many other traditions? Actually, the reason is simple. Chanting touches something in our human heart. Long before this modern entertainment and technology, people discovered that repeated chanting, repeated sacred sounds, it calms our mind. It awakens our inner awareness and connects something higher. That is why this chanting keeps reappearing. It is not actually a trend. It is not something of fashion that it comes there and remains for a short period, and it is something of because of novelty or human influence. They are excited for certain moment. Trends keeps changing. What is popular today may be forgotten tomorrow. It is not a trend. This chanting has remained constant for thousands of years across different cultures, religions, civilization. People did not adapt chanting because it was something fashionable, but because it worked. It brought calm to the mind, it brought meaning to life and sense of connecting something higher. So that is why it is not a trend. It is a timeless practice discovered again and again by human beings searching for inner peace and spiritual awakening. This chapter explores chanting. It as not as a cultural curiosity, but as a universal spiritual practice rooted in humanity search for higher consciousness and true self. Long before chanting actually became visible on Western streets, it was central to their spiritual lives also. whether actually it is not only there in whether it is Vedic tradition or in prayers of Christians or Psalms of King David or meditative repetitions of Buddhist monks or Islamism or divine singing of Sikhs or Jewish, whatever it may be, this chanting was there. Actually, the heart of these traditions, they shared a common understanding that sound has the power to transform consciousness. It's not an ordinary sound, it is a sacred sound which we are speaking about. That is the names of God. It is prayers or mantras or chanting the holy names, which is something dormant. It awakens something dormant which is within our human heart. So this chapter traces the idea historically and philosophically, showing how chanting has always been connected to the deepest human question. There is a question, it is connected to that question. Who am I? Who am I beyond this body and mind? From Socrates and Plato to Jesus, Saint Augustine, Saint Francis, all these are referred in this book. And finally, to Vedic revelation of Hare Krishna mantra, we see a continuous thread, an inward journey towards spiritual awakening. It is not, this chanting is not a sectarian practice, but a time tested method of self realization, uniquely emphasized in this present age. Kali Yuga is the most accessible path to inner peace, joy, and Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. So the opening scene is very interesting scene. It is a scene. You can read from the book, you can follow what I'm reading also. It is a scene that has been repeated countless times on the thoroughfares of cities throughout the Western world, from Hollywood Boulevard and Fifth Avenue in America to London's Oxford Street and the Champs-Élysées in Paris. So the opening scene itself emphasizes why people chant on the street. Actually, it appears men are dressed in flowing robes and having shaven heads, women colorful sari, and they were chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Some outsiders wonder, is it a protest or is this a street theater or some cultural display? It may look very unusual, but it is not so. It may look very strange, it is not so. It is a time-tested spiritual practice, chanting God's holy name. So the next para says, what is meditation? If you were to ask them, you would learn that these people are performing a type of meditation long encouraged and practiced in the West, the chanting of the holy names of God. See, modern meditation also nowadays, it is very quite used loosely. Actually, it is what is they are saying. It is actually what they say. It is mentioned. It is something for calming our mind. But this ancient authorized form of meditation practiced by Hare Krishna people has a much deeper and more sublime purpose. Actually, it also calms the mind. Although it easily soothes the turbulent mind, it also awakens those who chant it to their original joyful spiritual nature and consciousness, imparting a genuine sense of pleasure. This is unavailable in other practices. Okay, so this is what meditation is for. It has a purpose of transformation, not just relaxation. When we chant, we gradually remember who we are. We are not this body, we are souls. And that remembrance naturally brings us to lasting happiness. Okay. Then the third para, which we are going to read, it is actually diagnosis. It's a core Vedic diagnosis. We are actually what? Spiritually asleep. And this chanting is essentially needed for this hour. The Veda scriptures containing the timeless spiritual knowledge of ancient India state that such an awakening process is desperately needed because everyone in this material world is in a sleeping dream-like condition. Generally, when we sleep, what happens? We do not know what is happening, but we identify with whatever dreams, bodies we see, and we experience that in the dream. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we are happy in the dream, whichever body we identify there, when that way we are happy there. But to awaken, what do we need? We need when a alarm sound rings, then immediately we wake up from our dream sleep, from our sleep, and we come out and we then identify ourselves, isn't it? Similarly, here, this body is now compared to a dream body, temporary covering, and this holy sound, this spiritual clock that is mentioned about here. That is, by hearing the powerful transcendental sound vibrations of Hare Krishna mantra, we can gradually wake up to our original self, the soul, which is characterized by eternality and is full of knowledge and ever increasing pleasure. Okay. So then, the next para speaks about goal of our human life. It is not enjoying dream, but for awakening. In material world, actually, we are all having material goals. Okay. Anyway, see, if you're a student, somehow you have a goal. What are you going to pursue? Say you are a 12th standard student. You would have seen so many students, they are pursuing higher studies, but they have a goal. I wanted to become an engineer. I wanted to become a doctor or a teacher or some professional. Then after which I will earn, I will maintain a family. I will be contributing to society. I'll be living responsibly. See, if they fix a goal, then only they'll be able to live a life responsibly. So the material goals helps us to live within the dream responsibly. But spiritual goal awakens us from the dream. Material achievements simply answer this question: how should I live in this world? Spiritual realization answers a deeper question: who am I? Why am I here? So you see, it is mentioned, the sages of ancient India therefore tell us that the goal of human life should not be to try to enjoy our temporary dream-like situation in the material world. Actually, it is not that Vedic views, they reject the material goals. It's not like that. If you read Isha Upanishad, text 11 says, only one who can learn the process of machines and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy full blessings of immortality. Actually, it is simply incomplete if we have a goal, material goal, without a spiritual goal. Human life is not merely for enjoying, yearning and enjoying. We have to awaken our spiritual identity. If you, in Srila Prabhupada, in that Isha Upanishad text 11, he explained in his purpose that Isha Upanishad instructs us not to make one-sided attempts to win the struggle of existence. Everyone, actually, in the material world, we are all struggling hard for existence. But the laws of material nature are so hard and fast that they do not allow us to surpass them. In order to attain a permanent life, one must be prepared to go back to God, Srila Prabhupada says. See, there he explains about Hiranyakashipu. He was actually very powerful materialist. He actually had so many plans to become deathless, but he couldn't accomplish that. So we are all like Hiranyakashipus. When he couldn't, then what are we tiny little Hiranyakashipus achieve? All our material plans for existence are wafted moment to moment, isn't it? So it is not for adjustment. Human life is not for making some adjustment. It is for awakening beyond it. Okay, human life is meant for self-realization and God realization. Ultimately, we have to go. That is what it says. We have to go, return to our true home in the spiritual world, where we may enjoy an eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. So then also, sometimes, as I said in the beginning, that generally we think this chanting of holy name, this meditation, the search of self, something Indian. It is something Eastern culture, and it is something mystical fantasy, something like that they say. But this is not. Western people also, this culture was not only here in our Eastern culture, it is also in the Western culture. So although Western civilization has, for the most part, directed its energies outward in various efforts to control and exploit the resources of nature. There have always been inner directed philosophers, saints, and mystics who have dedicated themselves to a higher purpose than material well-being, which is in all cases temporary. So from ancient Greece to early Christianity and medieval Europe, where the next subtopic, search for self, there we can see that all these great philosophers and saints taught that human beings are not mere physical bodies, but spiritual souls temporarily residing in matter. Then Socrates and Plato, Jesus Christ, of Saint Augustine, Thomas A. Kempis, all pointed inward, teaching that the higher purpose of life is awakening of our original spiritual identity, which is hidden beneath our material body. So let us just read this. The Greek philosophers Socrates and Plato held a view of man's original nature quite similar to that of the Vedic sages. Socrates says that in our original condition, we were pure ourselves and not yet enshrined in that living tomb, which we carry about now that we are imprisoned in the body like an oyster in a shell. Actually, here body is a living tomb and soul is imprisoned. Philosophy here followed by them is awakening of soul. Actually, it was something very interesting. What I wanted to, just I'm able to remember this. They also have this disciplic succession. You see the disciplic succession, the Western tradition. Here, Socrates is a great philosopher. Actually, he did not write anything himself. Okay, his wisdom survived because it was transmitted through his disciple Plato, who preserved and he provided his his spiritual master's realizations in a very systematic format. Actually, even see, Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. Lord Chaitanya also, he did not also write much. He revealed the highest spiritual truth, pure love of God. What he did, he empowered his disciples, especially Srila Rupa Goswami, to articulate and preserve his teachings. Okay, so knowledge flows through disciplic succession. This is what I am able to realize from this, where the search for the self is described. Here also I am able to understand that knowledge flows through disciplic succession. So in Christianity, when after 400 years in Galilee, Christianity, Jesus Christ also, he also imparted this knowledge to his disciples, and then they wrote the Gospels. They gave us the Gospels. So there, what he says, the spirit gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words of Jesus Christ, the Gospel of Saint John it is the spirit that gives life. The flesh profit nothing. So then he also says the kingdom of God is within you. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Actually, people sometimes search outside. Actually, true self in a spiritual life is inner realization, not just external rituals. This is what they are saying. God resides in heart and consciousness of every person. So I am able to connect this also with our Vedic philosophy, Bhagavad Gita. There also Krishna says soul resides in the heart and self-realization is an internal awakening process. It is not an external display. Just like what Jesus Christ taught here, we are able to relate it with our Bhagavad Gita. Then next, Saint Augustine. He is a great saint and eminent philosopher of the Roman Catholic Church, tells us in his confessions how his mind withdrew its thoughts from experience, abstracting itself from the contradictory throng of sensual images. Augustine here is practicing meditation. He is withdrawing from outer distraction and focusing inward on God and the soul. So it's all describing about meditation only. So when we also connect this with our Vedic culture, Vedic practice, Dhyana Yoga, there also we can see that turn the mind inward, detach from material distraction, focus on spiritual self. Or by chanting, we awaken our inner consciousness and withdraw attention from external senses. So in the Middle Ages, in medieval Christianity, what does Thomas A. Kempis say? In his classical Imitation of Christ, he says, the world is not your resting place. What do you seek here? Since the world is not your resting place, he's reminding us this material world is temporary. Our true home is spiritual, in God's presence or heaven. So all things are passing, material possessions, achievements, our relationships, and even our own body, they're all temporary, and clinging to them leads to suffering and distractions from spiritual life. We should not get entangled. Actually, attachment to our worldly things keeps our mind restless. Meditation and detachment help fully focus on what truly matters. So then, Hare Krishna, yes? Yes, Prabhuji? Anyone? Okay. Okay, then Saint Francis of Assisi, what does he say? He was so spiritually awakened that he saw God in all creatures, nature, and beauty. Every object, living being, or experience reflected a trace of divine. Ordinary people actually see things as separate material, whereas a spiritual person is able to connect everything with the divine. And also he says about constructing a ladder to God. Ladder symbolizes great spiritual ascent. He says he's recognizing God in all things. And then by meditating prayer and purification of consciousness, then ultimately he reaches union with divine. This is his teaching. And also we can also see symbol, we're seeing, recognizing God in all things. We can also see how in Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Sunichaiva Swapakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. The truly learned see with equal vision a gentle and learned Brahmana, a cow, and elephant, and a dog eater. And also we can relate this, actually this constructing a ladder to God, which Saint Francis describes. We can also pick up a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 19, text 153. Instead of reading the word, I will just read the meaning, English translation. As one waters the Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed sprouts, and the creeper gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the wall of this universe and goes beyond the Vraja river, lying between the spiritual world and the material world. It attains Brahmaloka, the Brahman effulgence, and penetrating through that stratum, it reaches the spiritual sky and the spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. So there he says devotional service is especially meant for the personality of simple personality of Godhead and is beyond this material range. We can see how the Bhakti Lata, actually, there's a river called Viraja. It is totally free from the influence of this material world. Actually, Jnanis who want to merge into the Brahma Evolution, they go up to Brahmaloka. But this Bhakti Lata beach, the Bhakti Lata, not beach, the Bhakti Lata creeper, the Bhakti creeper, however, has no shelter in material world, nor it has its shelter in Brahmaloka. Although Brahmaloka is beyond the material world, the Bhakti Lata grows until it reaches the spiritual sky where Goloka Vrindavan is situated. This is what our Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. So, however, what we are able to relate here is that whether it is Eastern philosophy or Western philosophy, people speak different languages. However, the point is searching for the absolute truth. Then the next saint thing we are going to see is William James. He is an American philosopher who specialized in psychology of religion. What is he saying? He is saying ordinary waking consciousness is only one level. Other higher states exist beyond a thin veil. Thin veil. So he is making a profound point here about human consciousness and spiritual experience. Human rational consciousness is not the highest or only form of awareness. Deeper spiritual states exist very close to us, and under the right condition, they can suddenly become fully real. So, for which a stimulus is required. But here Prabhupada clearly explained, okay, the stimulus is not some drugs. Sometimes they say we can take some drugs and go to higher consciousness. No, even if you read Srila Prabhupada's Leela, we can understand how stay high forever by not by drugs, but by chanting Hare Krishna Maha. So what is that requisite spiritual stimulus for awakening the dormant consciousness of the self and God that lies within everyone's heart? It cannot be, it is not chemical experience. It is not something called LSD or similar drugs. They do not awaken the soul. Actually, when Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of Hare Krishna movement, was asked by a follower of Timothy Leary about LSD's place in man's spiritual life, he said that drugs were not necessary for spiritual life, that they could not produce spiritual consciousness, and that all drug-induced religious visions were simply hallucinations. It is not that cheap, no, that they will just by taking some drugs, we will awaken our spirituality. Actually, drugs only causes temporary distortion. Holy name causes, the result is permanent transformation. It is not something material or chemical, but authentic spiritual practice under genuine guidance from the spiritual master. This purification happens. So the next is sound and self-realization. Sound directly affects our consciousness. Actually, we already saw in previous para that, few paras before, we saw that just like we wake up by hearing an alarm clock, this awakening happens by a medium of this spiritual sound. It actually sound penetrates deeper than sight. Here also, an English philosopher speaks, Sir Francis Bacon. He says the sense of hearing striketh the spirit more immediately than other senses. So all religions we can see here, they are emphasizing about hearing, chanting, and singing God's name. Actually, when we compare with this para, in this para, we can see how this para speaks about divine sound versus material sound. Material sound it begins and ends in the big, and they are temporary, whereas divine sound is eternal, spiritual. Saint John, he says, in the beginning was the Word was God. Then Saint Augustine, in his Confessions, also what he says, human words fade, God's word remains eternal. So the next para also speaks about universality of chanting God's name. Chanting is global, it's not sectarian. The Stoic philosopher Maximus says, whom we worship under many names. The chanting is insisted or emphasized in Judaism, in Psalms, mentions about chanting. Then in Christianity, in Gregorian chant, it mentions about rosary. It speaks about, Jesus speaks about prayer. He says, Christ, when teaching his disciples how to pray, glorified the Lord's holy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And in his epistle to the Romans, St. Paul wrote, For whoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. In early Christian churches, there was, according to the historian Eusebius, one common consent in chanting forth the praises of God. The Gregorian chants, popularized in the 6th century by Pope Gregory the Great, and later by words like Handel's masterpiece, The Messiah, with its resounding choruses of Hallelujah, praised be the Lord, are still performed and appreciated all over the world. There are so many prayers like this. The continuous interior prayer of Jesus is a constant, uninterrupted calling upon the divine name of Jesus with the lips, in the spirit, in the heart. One who accustoms himself to this appeal experiences as a result so deep a consolation and so great a need to offer the prayer always that he can no longer live without it. Even in Islam also, they speak about 99 names of Allah. They are beautiful names. Then Sikhism also, Nama is central. In Buddhism also, chanting Buddha's name. They also have rosaries. They have 108 beads. The two halves representing the 54 stages of becoming a bodhisattva. The larger being the middle stands for Buddha. So the names may change, but the method here you can see is the same. And the next paras mentions why Krishna's name is so special. Krishna's name is actually, Krishna means all attractive. Although God is known throughout the world by many different names, each of which describes some particular aspect of his glories and attractive features, there is one name which expresses the sum total of God's infinite qualities and characteristics. The supreme, all-encompassing and most powerful name of God is found in the oldest religious scriptures in the world, the Sanskrit Vedas of India, which state that principal name of God is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains, when we speak of Krishna, we refer to God. There are many names of God throughout the world and throughout the universe, but Krishna is the supreme name according to Vedic knowledge. He further states, God has many names according to his activities, but because he possesses so many opulences and because with these opulences he attracts everyone, he is called Krishna. He is all attractive. So there is no difference between Krishna and his name. It is not conditioned. Actually, the holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. It is not a material name under any condition. And it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Actually, if you can just test this, if we say water, 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 our thirst is not satisfied. But if you chant this name Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, you can see it. You can experience the awakening, spiritual awakening. Just since Krishna's name is not contaminated by material qualities, there is no question of it's being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It's never conditioned by laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. So according to Vedic cosmology, the material creation eternally passes through cycles of 4 ages. So we know about this golden age, Satyuga. Then as conditions progressively deteriorate, then we have Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, and then ends in Kali Yuga. And this Kali Yuga is characterized by quarrel and hypocrisy. We can also we can see that we are in Kali Yuga. We have short life. We have a very disturbed mind. Srimad Bhagavatam describes about this Kali Yuga. Prayena Ipaisha Sabhya Kalavasmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagyahi Upadrita. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So in this instant, when this in this Kali Yuga, actually complex yogas will not work. They are not practical. So for this Kali Yuga, Kali Santarana, no. Yes. Yeah, the Upanishads, the scriptures, yeah, Kali Santarana Upanishad, it says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Gatiranyata. Yeah, this is in Brihad Naradiya Purana. So what it mentions is, in this age of Kali, there is no alternative, there is no alternative for spiritual progress other than the holy name, the holy name, the holy name. Actually, especially the Kali Santana Upanishad, it recommends the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mantra. Many other references also I'm able to quote. In Narada Pancharatra, it says, Esho Veda Sadangani Chandasmi Vividhashura Sarvam Ashtaksarastam Yat Chanyad Apivan Mayam Sarva Vedanta Sarartha Samsara Tarana. All the Vedic rituals, mantras, and understanding are compressed into the 8 words Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Actually, similarly, in Kali Santana Upanishad, which says that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Iti Shodshakam Nam, Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, Nata Paratora Paya, Sarva Vedishu Drishyate. The 16 words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, are especially meant for counteracting the contaminations of Kali. To save oneself from contamination of Kali, there is no alternative to the chanting of these 16 words. So Lord Chaitanya has contributed to this congregational chanting. He introduced loud chanting Kirtana. Also, he did this personal chanting Japa. He chanted the Hare Krishna mantra congregationally, Kirtana, to the accompaniment of musical instruments, including drums and hand cymbals. The Lord also chanted the mantra quietly, specific number of times daily as a private meditation japa. Actually, he glorifies. In his Sikshashaka, he says, Na Cheto Darpana Marjaram, Bhavamoha Tavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandriga Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam, Ananda Mudivardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrata Swaganam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. The chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste cooling nectar at every step. Actually, what he actually predicted. We can see how the fulfillment of prophecy is happening now. That too within a short period. Actually, during his lifetime, Lord Chaitanya predicted that the holy names of Krishna would spread to every town and village in the world. This prophecy lay unfulfilled for 400 years until the time of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, a great spiritual master in the direct line of disciplic succession from Lord Chaitanya. He says that Lord Chaitanya did not advent himself to liberate only a few men in India. Rather, his main objective was to emancipate all living entities of all countries throughout the entire universe and preach the eternal religion. Very soon, the unparalleled path of Harinam Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, will be propagated all over the world. Oh, for that day when that fortunate English, French, Russian, German, and American people will take up banners, mridangas, and kartals and raise kirtana through their streets and towns. When will that day come? Actually, his vision, it became reality less than a century. In 1965, India's greatest spiritual and cultural ambassador, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, arrived in New York's East Village, the heart of the countercultural movement of the 60s. Within a year, Srila Prabhupada, 10th in the line of spiritual masters from Lord Chaitanya, had founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Very quickly, the sound of chanting of Hare Krishna spread first across America, then on to England and throughout the world. So this golden opportunity of Kali Yuga is now mentioned in the next paragraph. Actually, Kali Yuga is it will last for 432,000 years. Just like we have experienced this in Delhi, then there is this winter. It will be very, very cold. There is some particular period throughout the winter. It will be initially it will be mild. Later it will be very cold. But during that period also there is a small warm period. We have experienced that. It will be biting cold, but suddenly warm spell we can experience, and then once again it becomes cold. Similarly, this in one of our Srila Gurudev's lecture also I have heard. He has mentioned about this winter season and how we can experience a warm period during that period of winter. Similarly, here also, though Kali Yuga lasts for 432,000 years. First 10,000 years, there is a special opportunity through Sankirtan. Actually, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, verse 51 says, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan, asti he eko mahan guna, kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajir. This age of Kali is full of unlimited faults. Indeed, it is like an ocean of faults. Dosha nidhi. It's ocean of faults. But there is a chance, one opportunity. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramraja. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga and in his original spiritual body can return home back to Godhead. This is opportunity of Kali Yuga. So it can transform society and restore peace and awaken ourselves. So this is what I would like to read what Prabhupada actually explains. Kali Yuga continues for 432,000 years, of which only 5,000 years have passed. Thus, there is still a balance of 427,000 years yet to come. Of these 427,000 years, the 10,000 years of Sankirtan movement inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago provide the opportunity for the fallen souls of Kali Yuga to take to the Krishna consciousness movement, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and thus be delivered from the clutches of material existence and return home back to Godhead. So, what we have seen in this lesson, in this chapter 4 is, we see that across civilizations and centuries, chanting has appeared in different languages, sometimes as rituals and cultures, as a shared human quest for higher consciousness. So it looks, while its forms may look cultural, the chanting of God's holy names, culminating in Hare Krishna mantra, reveals itself as a universal spiritual science, awakening the soul through divine sound beyond time, place, or sect. With this, I would like to conclude my reading session. Whatever here and there I collected, I tried to present. I do not know how best I was able to effectively present, but still I was able to. I do not know how much was the how effective it was, but somehow I presented something by the mercy of the spiritual master and Vaishnavas. So thank you very much. If we have any points to add.
Thank you,
Or to,
if
you have any questions, I'll try my best to give the answer. Whatever little bit realization I have, I will be able to Yeah, please. Prabhuji, you were saying something.
Yes, thank you for your wonderful lecture. Actually, you have told many things. That the main thing is that you have said that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very important. That this kirtan, Sankirtan movement will be there for next 10 years, and it's so chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in this age. They don't have to go home back to India. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the and to chanting and kirtan, and then we can go back home, back to God in this lifetime itself.
I don't know my 1 minute. Actually, just a minute. I'm not able to hear this one.
So, if there are any questions and comment or feedback or your realization, so please share. Yeah, is there any questions from the devotees? Please ask. So, questions actually, can I ask? Am I audible? I may have some internet issue. I do not know whether I'm audible or not. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, am I audible? Can you please repeat? My voice was actually breaking, and it got interrupted by a call, I think. 1 minute. Can you please, if you have some time, can you please repeat what you
are audible actually. You're audible.
Can you please
yes,
repeat?
Asking that in the lecture, instead that knowledge approach to
Prabhuji, actually, I'm not. It's not audible. It is not. Your voice is breaking, Prabhuji. Maybe I should disconnect.
Okay,
should I disconnect one device? Should I disconnect one device?
Maybe
No, we cannot hear you. I think your internet connection is very poor.
Mine.
Yes, your internet connection is poor.
Okay.
So we can't hear you.
Repeat the question. No, I'm not. We are not able to hear Prabhuji, Sadbhuj Prabhu. We are not able to hear. Can someone repeat the question or?
I'm saying the devotee may ask a question.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I have just one question. How to develop the taste for this Hare Krishna Mahamantra or this holy name when we are actually not at our purity of heart is not achieved. Actually, we are contaminated and we are actually in the veil of ignorance, and in the you can say the coverings of the Maya is much more. So for the ordinary people, what is the path actually to get the taste of this holy name so that we can follow this path?
Prabhuji, actually, we are all in the same boat. But actually, now what I have heard and what I have experienced is that practice makes perfect. So chanting is the way and chanting is the means and chanting is the end only. So we have to keep chanting. We should never give up this chanting. If you keep chanting the holy names continuously, continuously, with sincerity, it will drill through the layers of all this lust, greed, anger, madness, illusion. All these anarthas only are not able to, we are not able to actually experience the taste of chanting because of these layers. Rupa Goswami also says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, our material senses are like jada. That is why we are not able to experience. But we have to chant from where? By engaging that senses, the tongue, engaging the tongue in taking prasadam and chanting the holy names, we'll be able to one day awaken and realize it. So even if we don't get it, is actually Srila Gurudev's lecture, if you hear where Gurudev clearly says that we should not try to experience some taste or something. We are not for experiencing rasa here. We are here to give pleasure to Krishna. So always, if we have that feeling that we have love for Krishna, because Krishna is non-different, Krishna is identical, Krishna and Krishna's names are identical. So when we have that feeling that Krishna is 100% fully in his names, and with that feeling we keep chanting and keep chanting, one day we will be able to develop the taste. And actually in Srimad Bhagavatam also there is one verse in first canto, how by serving the devotees, great devotees, you will develop the you will get inspiration. You will see the devotees chanting, you will see the devotees practicing Krishna consciousness very purely. You will get the inspiration, and then you will start chanting more deeply with great faith. You will be able to hear more deeply. So when you serve and practice this, Krishna will see the interest in you, and then what he will do is, through you will be chanting through the ears, he will go into the heart, and there he will, all this rubbish which is accumulated millions and millions of years, isn't it, all the unnecessary, unwanted anarthas, everything which is staying and which is preventing us from hearing, Krishna himself will take the charge for clearing all those unwanted anarthas and all unnecessary garbage which is in the heart. And then you will by that process you will be able to actually experience taste. So it is a process this will happen gradually, but we should have that faith that this we will achieve, and with that hope, with all the inspiration which we get with this association, reading Srila Prabhupada's books regularly, and if we just stick to the process of chanting these holy names on regular basis, we will be able to get the taste provision. Krishna also says, by practice and detachment, you will be able to achieve it. So we have to somehow practice. Then we will develop the taste automatically. Just because, in Nectar of Instruction also it is mentioned that because of ignorance, we are not able to, just if a patient, he is suffering from jaundice, you see, he will not be able to experience sweetness of sugar, but sugar candy is the medicine for jaundice. So by taking it continuously, one day he will experience, his jaundice is cured and he will be able to experience the sweetness. So the same thing, though we are now suffering, we are in a condition like jaundice patient. So we have to keep chanting. This process will help. We have to work. When we work the process will work for us. Gurudev says this. So we have to keep chanting, and we will experience it one day. Krishna himself mercifully will give us that opportunity to taste the holy names. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. You have just gone quite depth to it. It's all our endeavor, how much serious we are actually into
Yes.
that.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
our seriousness will pay at last, at the end. and our continuity and our regularity, making it a habit actually. If you can transform this into a habit, then it becomes very easy actually. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, hearing Mangal Arati, then dedicating 1 hour or 2 hours for chanting the holy name. I think development of the spiritual habits is the essence of that. Thank you, Mataji. It was very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other way?
The chat box, there's a question.
I'm not able to see it. It's just not fully displayed. 1 minute, let me see from the. In your lecture, you mentioned that knowledge flows through disciplic succession. How can one keep strong faith in disciplic succession and get the knowledge? Yes, Prabhuji. See, with just one example I can give. One minute. Faith is very essential. But see, for example, if you want to connect a bulb in the what is it, transmission, in your socket, this is a practical example which we see. There is a generation station and power is generated there, and then it is transmitted through the transmission lines, and through the distribution system it reaches your house, right? So, and then it comes through the distribution box, it comes to your house, and it is there readily available in the socket. And if you plug in and switch on, and you can see when you connect it, by switching on, you're connecting it, and you can see the bulb glows. By this example, you can also see that this knowledge has been carefully passed from Krishna. In the introduction book of Bhagavad Gita, we have seen the disciplic succession. It has been carefully passed, and it is preserved, and then it has come down to us. So if we are able to if we are able to understand that this knowledge is flowing through disciplic succession, certainly we will be able to we'll be able to receive the knowledge. So we have to somehow develop strong faith by reading books, submissively inquiring from those who are practicing this, who have faith in this. If we submissively we inquire and follow the instructions, we will certainly develop strong faith. Actually, even for small things like when we travel in an airplane, we have faith in we purchase a ticket beforehand, and then, okay, certainly this plane will take us to a destination where we want to go. We buy a ticket to Delhi or Bangalore, and we sit in the plane, and then it certainly takes to us the destination for which we have purchased. When we have faith there, why can't we have the holy faith on the holy names? By reading the scriptures, we can understand it is not something a trend or fashion. Otherwise, why our acharyas or others, they are experiencing something, they are able to connect themselves to the Supreme Lord. So all these Vedic scriptures are deeply mentioning about the inner meaning of our transformation, how inner meaning of the words of the messages given by the Supreme Lord himself, as well as the acharyas, when they have given and when they have practiced, when they have demonstrated. When we have faith in our ticket, why can't we have faith in this? By staying together in this association of devotees, this will certainly help, Prabhuji, that we will be able to successfully So let us have faith in this disciplic succession, because they are giving us this knowledge and they have experienced it and they have given it to us, and certainly we can take it. Does it help, or do you want something different? I don't.
No, thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Understood. So, anybody has?
Any other points to be discussed or any points to be added, Prabhuji, from your side? Krishna? Or Prabhuji? Krishna? Prabhuji, Tapas Prabhu, are we there in the line, or is there some disconnect? Are we disconnected?
No, we are not disconnected. Everybody is there, but nobody is
Yeah, we
responding.
can
I
hear
mean,
you.
So
we
are
can
we
hear.
concluding, or anyone want to share something? Or are we, is the time over and then we conclude, or what is the next thing we have to do?
We can conclude actually. Time is also over. It was given for 1 hour. So
Okay.
we can conclude.
Okay, thank you very much. Hope this actually I wanted to make it more interactive, but somehow I was caught up in this office work, and so I just wanted, I read something, whatever, and I along with what I've collected. So thank you.
Mataji, it was a very nice discussion, in fact, actually. While you were reading, I was going through the entire chapter, line by line. So it was
Okay.
a good revision, and also got to know all the, it's refreshing the memory, actually. So it was a
Thank you
very
so
good
much.
discussion, in fact.
Thank you very much. Okay, Prabhuji. So we will now conclude. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.